Hey everyone, happy Christmas. Hope you're having a great Christmas day. You have to excuse me for filming in the middle of my sitting room here because normally I'd be on the couch or the sofa, but the light will be shining in your faces, otherwise I'm blinding you for the whole video. So I'm still getting used to making videos on YouTube. So I'm just in the middle of the floor, but the view isn't that bad really, so it's not too bad. So I suppose I just wanted to share a short story with you from Irvine Welsh's book Reheated Cabbage. As you can see, the front page has a Christmas dinner on it and Brussels sprouts on the back. And the main reason for that is because one of the short stories in it is a Christmas dinner with the Begbies family. Now, I assume anyone who's going to watch this has seen Trainspotting and is familiar with Franco Begbie. Not a very pleasant character, to put it mildly. Deplorable, in fact, we might say. A psychopath with strong violent tendencies. But the way Irvine Welsh presents him in his writings, he actually pulls off a comedic effect from someone who is so violent, so this, I think, is an example of that, the short story, and it is quite entertaining, it is quite funny as well. So I suppose to set the backdrop to it, it's Christmas Day at the Begbie house, and Begbee's brother Joe and sister Elspeth have been invited, and I suppose the main premise of it is that his sister Elspeth is bringing her new boyfriend, and that's the name of the short story, Elspeth's Boyfriend. So we'll get stuck into it there, and I hope you like it. So I suppose the way that I'm pronouncing the words, it's written in a Scottish dialect, so it's not me putting on a Scottish accent per se, but it sounds better with a Scottish accent. So we'll, as you've seen Begbie in the movie, it'll make sense. So here we go anyway. There's some cunts that you hit it off with and some cunts that you didn't. Take Elspeth's boyfriend for example, a right fucking case in point at you. I mean, I'd never even met the cunt till Christmas Day, but all we got for the old lady leading up to it was Greg this and Greg that, and he's an awfully nice laddie. So that gets you thinking to yourself right away, aye, Christmas, eh? Some cunts lap it up, but to me it's a load of shite. Too commercialised. It's usually just a family for us. But I fucking moved in with my bud Kate, our first festive season together. We had a big row about it and all. Mind you always do at Christmas. Wouldn't it be a fucking Christmas without everybody come getting on each other's nerves? As you can fucking guess, she's moaning that we're going to my ma's instead of hers. The thing is that my brar Joe and his wife Sandra and their two wee bairns and my sister Elspeth will be there. Traditions on that. That's what I tell Kate. I always go to my owl girls at Christmas. That cow I used to be with, that June, she's taken the bairns to her old ladies. Not that it bothers me, but it means that my ma'll no see them at Christmas. That's June, but fulfill a fucking spite. You cannae win with birds at Christmas. Aye, Kate was all humpty and all. She goes, well, you go to your ma's and I'll go to my family's. I says to her, then I start getting fucking wide. We're going to my ma's and that's that. Then they try and snub my old gal. So that was that settled. The other time I gets on to the old lady, asking her when she wants us round. She gives us all this, oh let me see, when did Elspeth say that her and Greg were gonna come round again? But you get the fucking picture. By the time it's Christmas Day, me and Joe have had our fucking fill of Elspeth's boyfriend, this fucking Greg cunt, whatever they call him. I've been out on the push all Christmas Eve with some of the boys, and Joe was in the same boat. You could see if he had the cunt's eyes. He was fucked and all. Oh, it got fucking well messy that night. Lines of Charlie racked up every 5 minutes. Bottles and bottles of champagne been guzzled. That, to me, is what Christmas is all about. Just letting yourself go. Especially the champagne. I love that stuff. Could quaff it till the cows come home. Must be the aristocrat in us. Blue fucking blood. You suffered the next day, but no half you fucking didn't. So that Christmas morning, me and her have this big argument again. My head is fucking nipping, and my sinuses feel like some cunts went and poured a load of concrete into them. Trying to get ready to go round my ma's house and feeling like that. She asks us, what do you think I should wear the day, Frank? Ours looks at her and goes, Claves. That shuts her fucking mouth for a bit. Then I says, how the fuck should I ken? She looks at us and goes, well, should I get all dressed up? Wear what you fucking like, I tells her. I'm not getting all thrust up like a fucking turkey just to sit peeving and watching the telly round about Maz. Levi's, Ben Sherman and Stone Island and Cardi, that'll do for me. So that seems to satisfy her, and she puts on this sports gear. Casual but quite smart, Ken. Oh yeah, I can tell a mile away that she's taking the fucking strap, but I just think, well, if she wants to be all anti-social this Christmas, that's fucking well up to her. We heads down the road and gets to the old girls. Joe and that was already there. Aye, aye, Franco, that Sandra goes to me. Aye, aye goes. Never saw eye to eye with her. Too much mouth in it. Dinna ken how our Joe can be doing with that. His choice, but wouldn't it fucking well be mine anyway? At least her and Kate get home, and that's a good thing. Because it keeps the bairns off Joe's back and lets us get a peeve in peace. I gets a can of Red Stripe open and going to get fucking well hammered is what Christmas is all about. We're fired into the lagers, alright. We're just sitting there thinking through our hangovers. If this cunt Greg or whatever you call the boy, if he starts getting wide, he's going to get a fucking batten mouth. Christmas or nae fucking Christmas. After a bit the door goes and it's Elspeth. This tall dark-headed cunt with a side parting comes in behind her. He's all done up to the nines in a smart coat and suit. You can tell that this cunt really fancies himself. What got me was the side parting. Kid how some things just get on your fucking nerves for no reason. But then what really wound us up was that he was carrying a bunch of flowers. Flowers on fucking Christmas Day. For you, Val, he goes to the old girl, giving her a wee peck on the cheek. Then the cunt comes up to me and goes, you must be Frank, and he puts his hand out. I'm thinking, who the fuck wants the Ken likes? But I let it go because I didn't want to cause a scene. Just didn't take to the sparry poof at all, bud. You ken how it is with some people. Try as you might, you just can't fucking well take to them. But I bites the bullet and shakes the cunt's hand thinking Christmas and that, the season of goodwill. Good to meet you finally, he says. Elspeth talks about you a lot. In very glowing terms, I should add, the cunt goes. I feel like asking the cunt what the fuck he's on about. Is he trying to get wide or what? But he's turned away and he's over to Joe. And you must be Joe, he goes. Aye, said Joe, shaking his hand, but no getting up out the chair. So you're Elspeth's fella then, aye? I certainly am, he smiles at her, and I catch him giving her hand a squeeze. She's looking all that daft way at him, like she's never been out with a gadge before. Love's young dream, that Sandra goes, cooing away like one of the big fat fucking pigeons that the old man used to keep. I mind the ringing a couple of the cunts' necks after he'd battered us once. The best thing to do with their cunts, though, is to set them on fire. It's Barry watching them trying to take off when they're blazing away and screaming in agony. I'll give his fucking coon, you cunts. Sometimes I used to just go down to the loft on his allotment and burn a couple of the bastards there, or get you and nail it to the hut, just to see the expression on the old fucker's face when he came home, all pissed and upset. Blamed every cunt and all, vandals, jippos, neighbours, publicans, wanted to kill half a fucking Leith. I'd be sitting there in the chair opposite looking all innocent, just going, oh, which one was it they got this time, Dad? And he'd be fucking well just about in tears. The cunt would smash the house up in a fit of rage before hitting the boozer again. Come to think of it, it was probably me that drove the cunt to drink. Him and his fucking daft pigeons. That fucking Sandra. Never mind the fucking turkey, stick that fat cunt in the oven and we'll be feeding half a fucking Leith through till next Christmas. I dinna ken about stuffing it, but I'll be volunteering for their fucking duties anyway, no fucking chance. So this big bloated rooster's right up to Elspeth's boy. I'm Sandra, Joe's wife, she says to this Greg, all that flirty, slutty way. This cunt goes up and kisses her twice, once on each cheek, like some fucking weirdo. I dinna hud with that, kissing a woman you dinna ken in somebody's house, at Christmas, at a fucking family gathering. I am watching Kate, thinking that if he does that to her, he's fucking well getting the nut rammed on him, fucking smarmy puff. But she sees me looking at her, and she kens how to behave. Got her fucking well trained. Aye, she kens not to show us up. Must have a word with Joe about that Sandra, embarrassing him like that. I ken that big cow, a leopard never fucking well changes its spots right enough. Used to call her the 32 boss back in the day. That was cause every cunt wrote around the schemes. So it's no for me to say. So Kate puts her hand out for him to shake, and keeps her eyes down away for his. I'm Kate, she mumbles. Handle that shin well. Aye, maybe the message about egging on boys on is starting to get through, just as fucking well, for her sake. The way I see it is that when a lassie's with somebody, she's not meant to be getting other boys to come on all the time. You can't trust a fucking cow like that, and you've got to have trust in a relationship. This Greg looks all surprised and gives a wee smile. Something creepy about that bastard. Ken how some cunts just set your fucking teeth on edge. The fucker reminds us of that cunt of an insurance man used to come round our bit when we were barns. He'd always give us these sweeties, really crap ones like dolly mixtures, all that cheap shite. Aye, you could tell he was a fucking right oily cunt underneath it all. I always took the sweeties off the cunt, but too fucking right I did. Never liked that fucker though. The old girl's been in the kitchen all morning, working on the meal. Her face is all red. She likes to make a big effort for Christmas. Wouldn't it be me anyway? Fuck slaving over a hot stove on Christmas Day. You can't work out what's going on in some cunts' heads, bud. Now she's trying to organise every cunt, making a big fuss about us all opening our presents under the tree. I'm no bothered with all that shite. Who cares about fucking presents? As far as Clay's go and that, I've got the money to get what the fuck I want. You like to get what you want to wear, and know what some other cunt wants to give ye. I gave the bar 200 quid for Clay's and my ma the same. Then I gave Joe 100 to get something for the bairns and 50 bar to her Elspeth for whatever she wanted. The only presents I got was for my own bairns. That was only because I kent that if I gave you the money to get him something like a fucking PlayStation or a bike, they'd end up with some plastic shite for Ali's cave. The rest would go on fucking snout for her, so that was all. The rest of them, it was just, here's your fucking Christmas present all for me, just get what the fuck you want. It's the best fucking way. All that fuss about wrapping fucking presents up. I couldn't be dealing with that. Fuck wrapping presents. Wrap some cunt's fucking jaw. I'm looking over at that Kate. 200 fucking bar for Claire's I gave her, and she comes into my ma's dressed like a fucking frump showing us up. Or Elspeth's made an effort. She's got a nice black party dress on. All for that smarmy Greg cunt and all. Even that fucking cow Sandra has. Ming and old fucking hen done up a spring chicken mind. But Alicia's fucking well tried. Kate, but a fucking Jakey on Christmas Day. In my ma's house and all. They're all making a big fucking fuss about presents. It's ooh, this is lovely, and ooh, it's just what I always wanted. Then they're all at me to open mine, and I just thinks might as well keep the cunts happy if it fucking well means that much to them. I gets a blue pastel coloured Ben Sherman off a Kate, and a yellow Ben Sherman off a Joe and Sandra. In my old girl's parcel there's another Ben Sherman, a black, brune and light blue striped in. I think I must have asked for Ben Sherman off every cunt. Mind you can't go wrong with shirts. There's one left marked own the gift tag to Francis from Elspeth and Greg, Merry Christmas. It feels like another fucking Ben Sherman. When I rips it open it's a sweater with the new club crest on it. That's nice, my mother says. Elspeth goes, aye, it's a new yin. It's got the original harp crest with the ship for Leith and the castle for Edinburgh. They're smiling at us and it gets right on my fucking tits. Trying to take the fucking piss here. To me, when you buy some cunt official club merchandise, it's like you saying to them that you think they're a fucking wanker. I wouldn't be seen dead wearing that shite. That's for fucking me bairns and fucking dipper cunts, that. Ta, I goes, but through gritted teeth, Ken. I'm thinking, that's going right in the bucket when I get home, tell you that for now. You can understand if it was Elspeth that made the mistake. I mean, that's birds for you. But if that Greg cunt was in on buying it, it means that he was trying to take the piss. I'm fucking well fuming at that disrespect. So to stop myself, I say something I shouldn't, I go up in the scullery to get another can for the fridge. Then I'm thinking to that Greg's such a big fucking lassie yourself, he probably doesn't have a fucking clue either. My head's still nipping and I swallow a couple of extra strained anodine with a mouthful of beer. When I gets back I see this fucking Greg cunts playing away with Jones bairns on the fucking flare with all their toys. Meant to be the fucking bairns' new toys, not for some big pansy to pounce around with. I pulls Joe aside and back into the kitchen and goes, you want to watch that cunt around the bairns, touch of the fucking Gary Glitters there, I tell you that from now. You reckon? Joe says, putting his head round the door to check it out. Defo, you ken how fucking plausible they cunts can be. That's the thing, I'd lay even money that cunts on the fucking stores register. You can stop that type a mile away. My ma sees us and comes in. What are you two on about, standing here in the kitchen drinking like fishes? Get out there and try to be social, it's meant to be Christmas. Right, ma, I goes looking at Joe. That Greg cunt might have brainwashed them, that's women for you. No got much brains to fucking wash in the first place. But Joe and me have been around long enough to see right through a cunt like that. Best keeping the old lady fucking sweet butt, or she'll have a coupon on her all day. She gets back through with the rest of them and sits down and picks up the Radio Times. I start to circle all the programmes we're going to watch. The way I see it is that some cunts go to the side to stop every fucker for squabbling, so it might as well be me. That's what I like it best about Christmas. Just sitting back with a few cans and watching a good film. Yeah, beauty, James Bond's on. Dr. No, and it's just about to fucking well start. Sean Connery, the best fucking Bond. You didn't want some fucking poncy English cunt, not for James Bond. Now would be a good time to say rest in peace, Sean Connery, first Christmas dead. That's an aside. Back to Begbie. Mind you, not that I really agree with having some cunt for Towcross as Bond. There's cunts for Elite that could have done the job just as well as Connery. Old Davy Robb drinks in the Marksman. He must be about ages with Connery. A fucking hard cunt in his day. Everybody will tell you that. Into everything he was. Cunts like that could have been good Bonds if they got the fucking training likes. We're no watching, Doctor. No, my ma says. Come on, Francis. I'd already picked it, but ma, I tells her. She's standing there with her arms folded, the fucking Billy of the Washhouse, like she wants us to give her the remote. No chance of that. Sometimes I think that my ma forgets that this is as much my house as it is hers. I might not have stayed here for years, but this was the house that I grew up in, so you still always think of it as your house. I think she sometimes forgets that. You've seen it loads of times, she moans. The weekends might want to watch the cartoon videos they got for Christmas. Toy Story 2, one of the bairns goes, that wee Philip, a sneaky wee bastard Atkin, takes after his ma. Some cunts are that fucking clueless you have to explain everything. No, because that's the whole point of getting a fucking video, I goes to them, that you can watch it anytime you like. You can't watch the Bond film anytime you like. You either watched it or you didn't. And you've got to watch a Bond film at Christmas, Joe. I turns to my brar. I'm no bother, Joe goes. Sandra looks across at him, then at me, then at Kate. You just ken that big cow is going to say something because she goes all that huffy, puffed up way. So we have to watch what Frank wants again, I take it. Fine, she goes, all sarcastic. Dinna fucking start, Joe goes, pointing at her. I'm just saying what your ma's saying, that the Barnes, Joe cuts her off. I says dinna fucking start. He lowers his voice, I've telled you. She sits bristling away on the fucking couch, which is no looking at anybody and she's no saying out. Joe looks at me, then shakes his head. It's about time he was getting her telt. My ma looks over at Greg and Elspeth. They've been sitting on their A and just whispering away and laughing to themselves in the corner, all antisocial. Meant to be fucking family Christmas we're having here. If the cunts wanted to do that, they could fucking well do it outside. What do these two want to watch? My ma asked them. They look at each other like they're no bothered, and this smarmy cunt, this Greg puff, goes, well, I'm with Frank. I think it would be a good laugh to watch the Bond movie. Then the cunt goes in his posh voice, Mr. Bond, I've been expecting you. And my ma laughs, and I even sees a wee smile on the corner of Joe's lips. Of course the Barnes are all laughing now, and every cunt suddenly thinks it's all a fucking great idea to watch the Bond movie, now that this fucking Greg wanker's into it. Room of fucking enjoyment to the film. These cunts, that two, that Greg and Elspeth, they've been whispering to each other all the way through the fucking picture anyway. After making all that fuss about it, that cunt wasn't even watching the film, right? At the end of it, the pair of them get up and stand in front of the telly. I'm just about to tell them to sit the fuck down because I want to change channels to see that fucking Snowman cartoon for the sake of the Barnes, Ken, and they're blocking the signal for the remote. We got a little announcement to make, this great cunt goes, and Elspeth moves closer to him and they hold hands. My ma's looking all excited. It's like she's waiting for the last fucking number on her care down at the Mecca. The great cunt coughs. It's difficult to know how to say this, but, well, yesterday I asked Elspeth if she would do me the great honour of becoming my wife, and I'm delighted to say that she said yes. My old girl stands up, all delirious, and stretches her arms out like that Al Johnson cunt, all ready to burst into song. But it's tears she bursts into, and she's saying how beautiful it is, her wee lassie, and she can't believe it and all that crap. What a fucking fuss to make over and out. It's like some cunt had slipped an ecky into her sherry. I wouldn't have put it past Sean Gregg, sly looking gadge, Ken. Aye, Sandra and Kate are all excited, and Joe's wee Ian says, can she be a bridesmaid? And they say, aye, of course you can, and all that shite. I couldn't have fucking believed my ears. Getting married, or Elspeth and this fucking nonce cunt in the suit. Her head's in the clouds, that Elspeth, but I was thinking that she's better than any cunt else. Spoiled rotten by being the youngest, and the only lassie, that's what it was. Never had it rough, no like me and Joe. Thinks that she can just suit herself. Some cunt should tell her, doesn't it fucking well work that way, knowing the real world. So I'm fucking well sitting there, my nut pounding, and they're all shrieking away as she pulls out her ring and sticks it on her finger, showing it off. It's beautiful, my ma goes. Very nice, that Sandra says. Did he get doing the bended? Bet he did, he goes, looking at that Greg, then glancing down at my brar like he's out. Fucking Elspeth, but I dinna ken what she's playing at. And mind the last boy she was going out with, he was a good cunt. Keith, the boy's name was. He had a big motor and all, and a no bad flat. They put the poor fucker away though, just for dealing a wee bit of boogle. It's fucking well out of order, just about every cunt of that game these days. You can't really class Charlie as drugs, no ma book. I mean, it's no like it's schemies fucking killing themselves with smack. What it is a designer accessory for the modern fucking age. That's the problem with these fucking country though. Too many cunts living in the dark ages, no prepared to move with the times. This Greg cunt vanishes for a bit, then he comes back with a huge bottle of champagne and some glasses. The way that Sandra's looking at the bottle, you think it was a fucking vibrator that she was going to stick up her fanny. So a fucking pretty boy pops the cork and it flies across the room, hitting the ceiling. I'm over and checking to see if it's left a mark where it hit the paintwork, and if it has, that cunt can pay for my ma to get her fucking ceiling redone. Lucky for him it isn't, eh? He pours a drink into the glasses. Joe takes a glass for the cunt, but I wave him away. Didn't he like that stuff? That's crap, I tell the boy. Sticking to the beer, aye? He goes. Aye, I says. Come on, son, special occasion, your sister's engagement, my ma goes. Doesn't it bother me? I didn't like the fizzy buzzles. They get up my nose, I tell her, looking over at the Greg Puff with his fucking side part and his suit and crew neck shirt without a tie. I wanted to tell her that he gets up my fucking nose, but I kept quiet, Christmas and that. Aye, it's not for me to say no, but I'll run a check on this cunt. Something fucking right iffy about that Reg. He looks the type of cunt that's not too sure about whether to catch the 1 or the 6, if you can what I mean. Probably one of they fucking bin shots that shagged the young puffs up the Calton Hill in the fucking closet and using her Elspeth as cover. See, if that cunt gives her AIDS, she's fucking well deed. And that fucking loudmouthed who her Sandra goes and raising her glass in a toast to Elspeth and Greg. Elspeth and Greg, every cunt says. I'm saying out, but never take my eyes off that cunt. Aye, pal, I'm fucking well wide for you. Every cunt else making a big fuss, and even Joe shakes the boy's hand. I'm shaking nae fuck cunt's hand, that's the fucking sort. But I best get the dinner served up, the old lady says. This has been the happiest Christmas I've had in years. See if your father was here, she bubbles at Elspeth. If our father was here, he'd have fucking well done what he always did. Drunk us out of who's and whom and made a fucking exposition of himself. This cunt Greg puts his hand on my ma's wrist and slides his other arm around or Elspeth's waist. I was just saying to Els last night, Val. So one big regret that I was never able to meet John. What's that cunt saying about my fucking old man? He didn't kill my fucking old man. This fucking cunt thinks he can just come in here and take over everything just because he caught her Elspeth at a vulnerable time. Just because she was on the rebound, so to speak, with that fucking pair Keith boy getting sent down. I've seen smarmy cunts like this Greg before, seen them in action. Always on the lookout for some lassie to take a linny. Now she's making a big mistake and she has to be telt. So we're sitting down at the table to our dinner, and the old ladies only went to arrange it so as I'm sitting next to this fucking smarmy side part and child molester. I'm glad now that fucking June took our bairns to her hura and ma's house. So what line of work are ye in, mate? Joe asked the Greg boy. Elspeth butts in before the cunt can speak. Greg works for the council. Have a word with the cunts about that council tax. Fucking well out of order, I goes. My man, Joe and Sandra nods away, agreeing with that, and I fucking well got the cunt there. The council's a fucking waste of money as far as I can see. They could shut the whole fucking north down tomorrow and nae cunt would notice any fucking difference. Elspeth gets all snooty. That's no Greg's department. He's in planning. A principal officer, she says, all full of it. So it's planning we're getting now, is it? Aye, and you ken what that cunt's fucking well planning, alright. Planning to get his fucking feet under the table. And lo in this hoose he's no. Sitting there drinking his wine, chomping into that dinner like he's to the fucking manor born. The crawling cunt goes, You've really pulled out all the stops here, Val. Delicious. Cooked to a treat. I'm sitting next to him raging, and he swallows a moutful grub. There's something, a wee bone, or the likes, sticking a bit in my throat. I takes a sip of wine. I'd like to propose a wee toast, the Greg cunt goes, raising his glass, to family. I tries to cough up, but it's stuck fast. I can't get any air. My fucking nostrils are all blocked up with that Charlie from last night. My sinuses are packed solid with crap. Fucking hell. Uncle Frank's no well, the wee boy says. You alright, Francis, son? Something no going down, my ma goes. He's gone red. I waves the cunts away and I stands up. That daft cow Sandra's trying to give me a bit of breed. Force it down, she goes. But I'm fucking well choking anyway and she's fucking trying to kill me. I pushes her aside and I'm gasping and choking and my head spinning and I see the horror in their faces around the table. I cough and the sick comes up and catches in my fucking throat and flies back down all hot and burning. Right back into my fucking lungs. Ya cunt, I'm fucking choking. I'm grabbing the table and banging on it and grabbing at my throat. Oh, ya fucker. I feel this bang on the top of my back. One dunt, then another. And I feel something loosening it all it loosened and it all comes up. That fucking blockage is away and I can breathe. Sweet fucking air. I can breathe. Alright, Franco, Joe asks. I nods. Well done, Greg. You saved the day there, he goes. You certainly did, that Sandra says. I'm getting my puff back, trying to work out what happened. I turn to this Greg. Some cunt battered us on the back there. Was that you? Aye, I think he swallowed the wishbone, he goes. I smacks the nut onto the cunt, and he falls back holding his face. There's screams for the woman in the barns, and Joe's over, and he's got a grip on my arm. What are you fucking doing, Franco? The boy helped you. He saved your fucking life. Fucking boss to all that. I brushed his hand off. He battered us on the back of my ma's hoose. Nay cunt lays their hands on me in my ma's hoose on Christmas Day. That'll be fucking right. My ma screaming, calling as an animal, and our Elspeth staying her nut. That's it. That's us finished, she goes, looking at me, shaking her head. We're gone, she says to my ma. Ah, dinna, please, hen, all the day, my ma pleads. Sorry, mum, we're off, she points at me. He's ruined everything. He'll be happy now, good. We leave yous to it. Merry fucking Christmas. This Greg cunt's got his head up with a serviette on his nose trying to stem the blood. A bit of it's got onto his shirt though. It's alright, he laughs, trying to calm them all down. It was nothing. Frank's had a bad fright, he's in a shock. He didn't ken what he was doing. It's nae bother, I'm fine, it looks worse than it is. A mindless thinking, I gie a lot worse than that, ya cunt. I sits down and I'm still getting my breath back. They're all arguing like fuck. Elspeth's greeting and he's trying to calm her. It's alright, he didn't mean it, darling. Let's just stay for a bit. For Val's sake, he's gone. You dinna ken him. He has to spoil everything, she sobs. It's all a big excuse for her to go all greeting face and spoiled as usual. Joe and Sandra are sorting out my ma in the barns. She's moaning all that usual shite about where did she go wrong and all that. It's me that fucking well went wrong coming here on Christmas Day. I just heap some mere sprouts onto the plate and fills up my glass. I feel like saying to them, if you're going to eat your Christmas dinner, fucking well sit down and eat it. If you're there, get the fuck away and give me peace to finish mine. Maybe I should have cooled it and got a hood of the cunt outside until it didn't fly like that in my ma's house. That cunt was too wide for his own good, but far too wide. Alright, he did try and help, but he'd give me back a fucking right dunt. No need for that. And I suppose that what it all boils down to is that there are some cunts you can't take to. You fucking try, but you ken deep down that you're never going to see eye to eye, and that's that. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope for anyone who was at home with their family today on Christmas Day didn't have a Christmas dinner like that, and for those who weren't able to travel home for Christmas for whatever reason, the virus or whatever, hopefully you avoided a similar experience that the Begbies had there. So I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas day, and I'll talk to you soon.